Hello, welcome to another INFJ Ramble. There's several topics I want to cover. Some of the information may be repetitive, but yeah, let's just get into it. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was um, in relation to why people love you or why people hate you. In the same vein, why do people mistreat you? Or why are they kind to you? So many angles. I don't know if I can touch on all of them, but let's just kind of let's explore one or two angles. So people are mean to you, one, because you allow it. And I feel like INFJs have communication issues, and it's not bad. I think we just need to kind of tune into a different channel in order to outlet our thoughts in a way that is understandable and also gracious. I'm working on the gracious part. I'm still working on that. I think so we give people the benefit of the doubt. We keep excusing unexcusable behavior. Um, in order to harmonize and keep the peace and understand someone's point of view and validate them. However, sometimes that backfires on us. And then we hold a lot of things in. There's a lot of pressure contained within. And then after like a certain amount of buildup, we get to a point where we're like a pressure cooker and we just kind of explode. So before you get to that point, I think maybe you need to take baby steps and be more proactive in just kind of like being honest and understanding and kind and gracious in telling someone how you feel. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense. So, for instance, if somebody is doing something that is playing on your nerves and you know in your soul that it's not okay, instead of just kind of idly and silently sitting by and allowing this, you speak up and say, hey, I think like if you just kind of like learn to just kind of express yourself and remember tone and body language and facial expression are all like essential components in your delivery, right? So you don't want to come off as irritated or sassy. Still working on that. But I feel like if you say it gently and kindly, and then not only like express your ideas or thoughts, follow it up with something that they can understand. Like I've encountered things at work where like people are doing stuff that is not vibing with my tune, and it's almost offensive and it's intrusive. And if I don't say anything, guess what? Guess who's hurting the most? You don't want to hurt people's feelings, but you're hurting your own feelings by not saying anything, by allowing unacceptable behavior. So speak up and just tell them straight up, like, hey, like, example. Say somebody is just kind of like using you as an emotional garbage can. You can at some point, listen obviously, because you want to like, empathize, but at the same time, to a certain extent, set boundaries, set limits, and then, tell this person, you know what, I understand that you are encountering these situations, and I wish you the best, but right now I need to be focusing on this. And then do that. You know what I mean? There's so many ways. That's just like one of like infinite ways of approaching the situation. Or if somebody is talking negative, you know, I always feel like people just want to be understood. So if you started off with, I totally understand where you're coming from, and then you just kind of follow it up with, I don't know, but maybe, like maybe if you change your way of seeing or thinking, things will improve. I don't know. And it's super dependent on people. I was just talking to my coworkers today, and a lot of the subjects in school are just so like not useful or applicable to life lessons. Does that make sense? Like they're teaching you like all this nonsense instead of teaching you how to become a better human being, how to communicate effectively, how to observe your emotions and how each emotion is necessary and healthy ways to outlet these emotions. Come on, teach people that stuff so that we can be like better human beings. I mean, what am I going to do with trigonometry or calculus? I learned that stuff in school, and am I using it? Is it applicable to what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis? No, not really. Maybe it is on a subconscious level, but I'm just not aware of it. And I don't think I'm like actively using that stuff. Or history. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we learned about stuff that we like accomplished and failed horribly at. Now let's think about ideas and how to create a better future. Whatever. Okay, so that's, I'm totally like veering off. Like, there's so many things that I want to talk about. Just flow with me, okay? And I mean, it'll give you an idea of a regular conversation that you would have with me if you were sitting in front of me anyway. Another thing, I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about this reality and how it's so temporary and impermanent. And I told this person that I get anxiety thinking about the endlessness of it all because we never die. It's just transference of energy into something else, into another time, place, space, and we just never die. And I told him I feel weary thinking about it. And he was saying that on the earth plane, things deteriorate, but as we transcend, we can access higher dimensions and realms of existence that teach us different lessons. I think, and whatever, long story short, we were getting into it, and then we came to the conclusion that Earth, the Earth realm, is a place for us to observe, observe from different angles and experiment with deterioration. You know what I mean? So, in order to understand it, we need to experience it, and Earth is the perfect place to access these types of situations and circumstances in order to experiment and understand different angles of deterioration. And then if you were to pass into, say, another plane of existence that's a higher dimension, then, deterioration wouldn't be as prominent, and then you could study a different type of subject. You know what I mean? I don't know if I am making sense. But anyhow, oh yeah, and why people treat you badly, it's because they have a war going on within themselves, and they're projecting it on you, and it's not even you. So that's why I keep saying don't take anything personal. You know what I mean? You can use the way someone treats you as a gauge to see where they're at their level of consciousness. And, you know what I mean? Let me give you a really quick story of what happened to me today. So I work at, I do not want to disclose this information, but I was at work and somebody came up to me and wanted validation for parking. And I told her, I'm so sorry, like I cannot, validate your parking ticket because you need to spend a minimum of $15 here. And she got really upset with me. And I said, I'm so sorry, it's not my rules, it's the owner's rules. And, It even states right here that I am not allowed to validate your parking ticket without a $15 minimum purchase. And then she went on by saying, like, well, the coffee shop over there does it. And I'm like, well, that's great that they do it, but I unfortunately cannot. And she looked at me and she said, you know what? I don't want to have a war with you right now. And then she stomped off and kind of like left me in that situation. And I looked at it and I'm like, okay, number one, I wasn't doing anything wrong. You know, I was just kind of upholding standards. Number two, I think she was upset because she wasn't able to successfully manipulate me and the situation in her favor. And so she made like I was starting a war when in actuality she had a war within herself. But then she thought, you know, instead of accepting responsibility for that, she projected it on me to make me feel like I was the cause. So I mean, you got to look at it, man. And I was fine. I was in a good mood, and I was, you know, I was very understanding, and I was trying to tell her graciously like why I cannot honor it. And she attacked me and made me feel like I was the enemy. So this is applicable to most situations when you encounter people starting drama. You know, it's really quick for them to point the finger at you when in actuality they should be looking at themselves and seeing what what's up inside of them and the kind of chaos they're creating around them and projecting outwards like, I don't know, emotional, what is that word? Ammunition. You know, so protect yourself. You know, and just know like you're not doing anything wrong. I keep saying this because you need to know. I think we spent most of our life thinking that something was wrong with us and we're doing it wrong, when in actuality we're not. I think the only thing we're doing wrong is allowing other people to like use us as a mental garbage can or emotional punching bag. It's not okay anymore. So you need to learn to be more proactive in communication, setting boundaries, setting limits graciously. Because I know, like, I'm not gonna lie, I do sometimes still practice passive aggressive behavior because I don't know how to communicate myself and I don't want to hurt people, but in actuality I'm hurting myself by withholding the information and not communicating effectively. So I am trying to break out of that mold. So wish me luck on that. And I wish you luck on that if that's where you're currently at. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. It's like it's gonna be 13 minutes soon. If you learned something, great. If you didn't learn anything, that's great too. I'm hoping you are having a wonderful night. Don't take anything personally. Set boundaries, set limits, proactively communicate effectively in a gracious manner. Still working on the gracious, but I think I will become successful the more I practice. Anyways, yeah, take care. Blessings to one and all. Amen.